Federal employees that are still working, welcome to the private sector. Let me introduce you to the concept of getting fired when it wasn't even your fault or you didn't have to do nothing. It is just how the world has been for years in tech, in other places. And today I got two videos for you that we're gonna watch from people. One of them that did a whole bunch of sacrifices to work for the federal government, and another person actually talking about what it means to get laid off from the federal government. And I haven't watched any of these other videos. We're just gonna watch the context. I don't know the creators, and I didn't do that much research on the creators' backgrounds, but I like the message, so that's what we're gonna look at. And first, though, we're gonna look at an email that somebody sent me, and I absolutely love it because we're gonna talk about it today, and it kind of goes along with the topic that we're talking about today. So let's check this email out. And in the email, it is basically saying from Tom, I appreciate you, all the conversations. And they're saying that, basically Tom's saying that it's going to get a lot worse. And Tom found an article that supports what I've been saying to you guys all along. And he says that middle-aged adults with white-collar workforce stay fresh by networking, always having a contingency plan and being up to date on their skills. And this is exactly what I've been telling you guys forever. Since I started this channel, I always said, always put insurance in place. Always put insurance in place. And I'm not talking about going to Allstate and just buying insurance. No, I always said, bet on yourself. And I'm not saying that in a salesy way where it's like, oh my gosh, I gotta go sell myself, do all kinds of stuff. No, what I mean is provide value. Go out there, provide value, help somebody out, and most likely they will at one point return it. And I just was on a call today in my free school group that some of you guys are part of because of my other video, and I love it. That they said, hey, like after 6 months of using LinkedIn, I feel like I've drained the well. And that is not the case. I cannot tell you right now if that's the person who asked me this question. After 6 months, no, but you got to start posting, and you just can't keep bugging other people about, hey, how's this looking or how's that looking? Ask a few times and then kind of let it be and see like, hey, okay, this is done. And you kind of get the network tracker. And that's why I offer all these tools. So like, hey, it's probably not a good time to ask Jimmy again. I've already asked him a few times. Because in the network tracker that we offer, I have it in there where it's like, hey, it's time to follow up. Or, hey, maybe it's not time to follow up. Or, hey, this is some time where it's like, hey, it's time to say this job is done, and we got to move on with finding opportunities, right? So let's watch somebody that I think.
Imagine this. You applied for a job as a government worker. You applied for it in Washington, D.C. It took 6 months to be approved for the job because it takes a long time with the government process. You move to D.C., you sign your lease, and you also sell your car because of the metro system there. And everybody knows how the D.C. traffic is, rough. And then 3 months later, you receive an email that you are fired. And tell me how this person is a bad guy. Tell me how firing this person will bring down the cost of eggs or rent or anything else. Anything else that involves human decency. It's just many stories that I've been told or I just ran across. It's just this one I wanted to share. Again, nobody's not trying to get no pity. It's just that, as me being a federal worker, and this goes out to the federal workers that lost their job, we just end this together. That's all.
Okay, so this person basically saying that, hey, this is all for inflation and all kinds of other stuff. And I don't even necessarily think that it's part of inflation. I think it has to do with something else. And I think this other person is actually pretty spot on. And this is how a lot of people feel when you look on TikTok with profile names that have no real headshot or no real nothing to it. You see how they feel. So, and I feel like a lot of you guys, and I want to hear it in the comments, don't click dislike just because you don't agree with this person, but I think a lot of you guys feel this. And hey, instead of doing that, click the like button. Doesn't cost you anything, and subscribe if you like this type of content.
I've been watching a lot of videos of federal employees complaining because, well, they lost their job, which I know sucks. Nobody wants to lose their job. You're depending on that for your livelihood. But you also got to understand the purpose of a job. A job is there to produce something of value. And I guess a lot of you didn't know. You were just doing busy work that didn't need to be done. And if we don't need you, then we got to let you go in order to save the money. Welcome to the real world. It happens in the private sector every single day.
Okay, so there's a lot of truth to that, and I feel a lot of you guys know that government, that lazy person, and I know a lot of them. I know probably more than actually like real like hardworking government employees that are like grinding and like doing a whole bunch of work, because you can automate stuff, you can implement new systems, you can do all that. And if you want to like stall something, you just create a process with bureaucracy that's just through the moon, right? The more people you need involved to make a decision, the harder it's going to be to get anything done, right? If you got to have 50 meetings to approve if we're going to get paper clips or straws or paper straws or plastic straws, and you're going to have debates about it, and you're going to spend $1 million deciding on if this is a good investment or a bad investment, you see how that can really be bad for people, right? But hey, for these people that were in the job market, that were doing that type of job, it was obviously very important, because that's where you have to do it, right? That's what you got to do. And I saw other people in my close surroundings that are at the verge of losing their job, or they don't know if they're going to lose their job, because they're like, hey, you know, like they're cleaning up house, they're getting rid of stuff, and they're saying, hey, this is just not a good time. And I also know people that haven't worked a full day in, I don't know, a decade, because they get their job done. They're so smooth. They use AI tools, and I know them because they told me, oh, I use AI tools now to do my job, and I can get my quota done for the week in like a half a day, working like with AI and doing all that, and then I just get paid for the rest of the time. So once you're starting to do that, then it's like, hey, you know, maybe we should raise the quota, or let 90% of the workforce go, and then say, hey, you know, we let 90% go, so now everybody's coming back to the office, and we're going to see how productive everybody truly is, right? And this is just me as a business owner, because if you let one of my people go, I'd feel it. I totally would feel it, and it would literally like freak me out, because then I'd be like, oh my gosh, now I'm scrambling, now I'm doing this, right? And when you let all these people go, yeah, you might get your check a little bit later, but I'm asking you now, how much of an impact is it truly going to be, and how much are you going to feel? So let me know, because I've had people that said, oh, my medication hasn't gotten approved quicker, has been approved less quick than it used to. So there's true implications with all kinds of stuff, right? And now all these people that were in the job market, or in the federal job market, and they got let go, are now going to flood the private market. So what is that going to do? That is going to make it even harder for you as an individual that's already strapped, already looking for a job, and trying to do it. So when you come to me and say, I want to negotiate for this, and that, then I'm going to be like, you better be aware that, hey, might be a tough one, but hey, employers have the upper hand right now. And 2 years ago, it was employees. Now it's employers. But the saving grace to all of this is you're probably still better off than most people that I talk to, because some of these people don't know the difference between a resume and a cover letter. So hopefully that helps a little bit on your mood, right? And all you got to do is you got to just be the best candidate that they can hire, right? And now you're like, oh my gosh, this is a crazy word. It's like, no, you don't need to be the best candidate. You just need to be making it so they think you're the best candidate. If you are the best candidate, it might not be, because you might be better at selling than somebody else that's way more qualified. So you got to be your own best salesperson. And I truly feel like sales skills is everything. If you're good at selling, if you can have people just like in meetings just pay attention to you and not be on your phone or not do anything else, and don't have the eyes wander all over because you're you can lower your tone, you can raise it, you're really good at persuasive selling, you'll always have a job, because sales is the hardest thing to do, right? And so that's why I always tell people, you gotta get good at selling yourself. You gotta work on your elevator pitch. You gotta work on your why statement. And it's like, you can't just come out and be like, I did. No, you gotta work on it so it makes sense. So it's like, so you're interesting, right? Because nobody wants just a blank canvas. It's like, oh my gosh, what is this, right? People wanna, when they interview you, they wanna say like, hey, this might be a great cultural fit, be an interesting person, right? Ask questions, because we've all been there where we needed this opportunity so much, but you laugh it off. You have a real conversation. You have a real, you have it where it's like, hey, I can do this, I can do that, and all of a sudden you're like, yeah, like we worked together on the same project before, and you know how it goes, right? And you're starting to have almost fun. I wouldn't say like you're loving it, but hey, it's like a game, it's like a dance. And once you're doing that, it's just gonna be nice. It's just gonna be really, really nice. But here comes the kicker. All these people that are being let go, and if you're in your 40s and 50s, and I have some really good people that are in my comment section all the time that say, hey, I don't have an issue too much because I'm at the verge of retirement and I have my house paid off, my car paid off, I drive a 19 Honda Civic, and I'm good. And I have no debt. And to you guys, I always say, you guys are the smart ones. And these people that scream, oh, I finance this, I finance that, and got a nice Beamer W and all this other stuff. You guys, if you are in my age bracket, you've never been through a recession. You've never been through a hard time of a downturn in the market. If you ask my parents and everybody that's in their 40s or above, those people have been through recessions. That's why when you ask those people, they say, oh, I'm not gonna finance a car, or I'm not gonna do this because I've lost it all during 2008 and it was devastating. I worked up till there. I had a phenomenal life. I had 4 or 5 rental units. 2008 came and lost everything. I started back up. So this time around, I ain't doing nothing. I'm just gonna, learn from my mistakes. I lost it all, so then I've rebuilt it, and it's where Dave Ramsey says it all the time, right? And hate him or love him, you can say, hey, not having an uncertain amount of debt over a very long period of time is going to increase risk, right? Sometimes that risk pays off, sometimes it doesn't. And now, as we're seeing, not even a federal worker is protected. And I know so many of you guys, and if I'd had the time, I'd go back through my comment section from a year or two ago that said, I'm union, I'm a federal worker, they're not gonna fire me. And I said, it's coming, it is coming. But I truly think that at the end of the year, it's gonna be more of the hiring than firing. But I think right now we're still in the let it go part, and then we rebuild it and we hire again and we do all kinds of other stuff. But hey, we got to get through this phase first till there's better and greater tomorrow. So let me know what you guys think, because I'm curious and interested to see, hey, is this going to keep going on? How long have you been unemployed? Because I'm seeing people that truly, truly want to make themselves better. They're interacting, they're doing things, and they take their own destiny to their own hands. And I also noticed something today on my call where some of you guys tuned in from my audience, where I was like, these people understand the value of time concept, right? And I see Alex Hermosi talk about that a lot, where he says he'd rather spend money on something to get where he's at now, like with his acquisition.com website. He says, I'd rather get the website. I think he paid $370,000 for it. He said, I'll make it up in the long run, but I don't want to wait around, haggle, do all this. I'll get it now, and then I'll make it up at the other end. And I see people that comment and say, I'm just going to work on my project portfolio a little bit here, a little bit there. I work on my resume a little bit here, a little bit there. And that's gonna really cost you. If you're not gonna crank it out and just do all that, every day that you're unemployed, it's going to cost you something, because every day that you're unemployed, you got to feed yourself from something. And if you don't got mom and dad feeding you, it's coming out of your piggy bank. And what does that mean? That means you got to work one day extra before you retire because you didn't get a job early enough, right? Because you got to live off of something. And if you saved up all your money in 10, 15 years of work, and now you're going to drain it all, and I've been on these calls, and they're very sad calls, where I said, oh, I am about to lose my house, I'm about to lose my car. And then I ask them, what have you been done the last year? Oh, I've been trying. Well, trying the same thing over and over and not getting any results, you know what that is, right? And so my heart goes out to all of you guys. I wish you guys all the best if you're in that situation. And yeah, if you're a government worker, if you're a school teacher, because I got high school teachers messaging me and be like, I don't know if I'm gonna get laid off. You made this video where you said 10-year high school teachers get laid off and all this other stuff. And to that I say, you gotta look at what your district you're in, right? If your district is flourishing, you're fine. If you're in one of the most highest paying districts in your state, where you just have good money and good tax revenue and everything else, you'll be fine. But if you're one of these districts that's overspent, that use COVID money and just can't do it, like the one in LA, I don't know, you might get lucky, you might not. But that's why you gotta be networking. You always gotta utilize your opportunity and be like, hey, adapt to the times, adapt to it. And yeah, because I've had other people reach out to me saying, it's just been absolutely nuts. Their industry is just not hiring. And then what do you do when your industry is completely not hiring? And to that I say, you gotta move. You'll have to move to a different sector, find relatable skills, and just kind of move it over and see like, hey, I'm gonna, pick my stuff up, move across the United States. And then they're like, well, my family's here. Well, then ask your family to pay for the bills. And if they can't do that, you gotta move. So I moved to Las Vegas. Greater places, different spot. And I haven't wanted to go back yet, so, but I might, who knows. So, but I do like the West Coast. This is where I'm at home and I feel it and I love it. So let me know what you guys think. And yeah, this is what happened to me the other day. It was windy. You saw my other video. It was windy. My car battery was so cold, it died. And now look at this. And then I had to get in there into this part, and then the piece broke because, I don't know, plastic, whatever. And so now I had to order one, and it's not coming for another 3 weeks. I was like, really? I gotta drive around like this now? So let's see how that's gonna go. Another day, another story. And I will see you guys later.